town of Split, the one that was built 300 years after Christ under the order of the Roman Emperor Diocletian and made of stones from Brač and bones of the first Christian martyrs. Its history begins and lays in the discovered gravestones covering the skeletons, in the cries from the arenas, in paganism and murders of the righteous. And as soon after Salona collapsed under invasion of Illyrs and Slavs in the year 614, after fall of Colonia Marsha Julia Salona, crazed crowd of poor refugees poured into the imperial palace, and that is how the town of Split came to life. And the palace, the town built on 16 towers with 4 gates and mighty walls that surround beautiful stone-built edifice of peristyle and octagonal emperor's mausoleum with 24 marble pillars reaching to the sky with their Corinthian capitals. The gods and emperors who signed themselves as I, the God, are not with us now with their stone gazes from the marble niches. And above this beauty in stone, another beauty in stone cornices, the manifestation of the fineness of chisel, which weaved petrified leaves, triumphant stone hurdles with imperial medals and coronets, placed along with grand ornamental pillars made of granite, brought by galley slaves all the way from distant Egypt. There is no town where call of life echoes stronger. From the high towers and deep cellars, in narrow streets and among the pillars, through the stone gates, life is cheering, crying, and stumbling. Split as a town with its ancient age and its gloomy and worn beauty materializes a unique type of existence. I know this Diocletian's tired and hard town since my childhood, but it took me decades of my life to finally completely penetrate in its agonizing and profound poetry. We built ourselves in your stones, in the ancient uncovered sea froth, in the heaviness of your pillars, in the loud shapes of characters, the promoters of your glory. The sun didn't lose any of its strength since the tired emperor was moved for the first time by the vision of silence and beauty, covering itself with your shadows. You grew out of an illusion.
Sure.
May, when church bells invite you to the festival of St. Dujam, the town is glittering in hundreds of celebrated cars. This is the time when we feel the most the fortunes we had inherited in a long tradition of 17th century's existence of Split. On the festival, we refresh our souls and bodies, remembering the customs as old as the town itself. We follow the same path many before us walked, leaving the footprints for the future. Sudamja is a time when the first cherries are blushing. That is the time when, as the story tells, Adel met Mara. Sveti Dujeća ti lipa fjera, Tijardović sings, and the people confirm the truth in the collective prayer and luxuriant celebration. And the stone sarcophagus has been witnessing to our age. Here lays the body of Dujam the Blessed, the Archbishop of Salona, the disciple of St. Peter, the first apostle, brought from Salona to Split by John, the Archbishop. And the 28 biblical scenes on the entrance door, made of hard walnut tree and carved by skilled master Buvina from Split in the year 1214.
Kao riječ koja izlazi iz moga srca, iz moje duše, kao riječ koja izlazi iz moga ljudskog životnog bića.
The layers of stones and human existence are following each other in the glory of nature and in the honor of human being. When we stop at the places we every day pass through, it is the beginning of our search at the door of the oasis of peace. Those are the moments when we recognize the sites of our existence, the intimate ones and the ones we share with others. The cultural heritage here is preserved in the open. It is preserved within the roster of stone churches from early Christian times, distaffs and church towers of medieval and Renaissance beauty, unpretentious Baroque palaces and strong fortification walls. past, we find Split of the contemporary values. We hear the tales and the customs of our ancestors. We learn of great men who turned the palace under the hill into the glorious town. Powerful and strong as a rock, pliable and capricious as the sea, Split is the testimony of continuance and beauty in the ever-changing times. It is the town of historical inspirations and the messages from the earliest beginnings. The Mediterranean is our guideline, destiny, and measure of all values.
Podižem grumen zemlje ponosne u ime svih naših žuljeva. Zemlja pamti sva naša leđa zgrbljena i molitve naših kraljeva. Jedan narod, jedna zemlja, jedan put, isti korak, ista nada, isti trud. Snaga je u svima, čeka vjekovima, nebo zna i pjeva sa nama. Mi smo prvaci, mi smo prvaci. Sav ovaj sjaj i pobjeda i pehar naš, znam da vrijedi ovdje Boga. Mi smo prvaci.
Ti ću stat sad! Ostaću u svoj kantu, ha!
Jedan narod, jedna zemlja, jedan put, isti korak, ista nada, isti trud. Snaga je u svima, čeka vjekovima, nebo zna. Jedan narod, jedna zemlja, jedan put, isti korak, ista nada, isti trud. Snaga je u svima, čeka vjekovima, nebo zna i pjeva sa nama. Mi smo prvaci. Mi
is not possible to experience Split without intimate experience of its prodigious ambiences, from the imperial to the peasant ones. It is not possible without intimate discovery of its streets and coves in terms of space as well as in terms of its historical meaning. The real Split, it is life in the town despite the town. It is not just the town of the advantages of the south, of leisure, beauty, or flattering clarity. And it is not a town of a quick experience. It is a town for gradual and exhausting conquests by walking, reading, living without rush or delusions. Split, those are the stones and the sun we walk under and become wrapped in our thoughts and work, falling in love with life, and at the same time falling in love with this town, at moments forgotten and cramped, tough or ugly, and yet at moments beautiful and patient as a yellow flower after which they say it was named. From the ancient times, Split had been and has remained to be the junction of contrasts, the crossing of influences, and the witness of often merciless but at the same time fruitful embraces of East and West. Therefore, its poverty and its experience. Split is the place of rich human experience, as well as Croatia, in which Split is one of the oldest and the most prominent towns. Split is the town that lives in the open. Its streets are outdoor stages for laughs and cries. Once outskirts of Split, Varoš, Lučac, Manuš and Dobri, today are the places where the traditions of peasants' town are being nourished. On the festivals of St. Cross and days of Radunica, the citizens of Split revive the street festivities, preparing themselves, following the tradition, for the main event, the main popular celebration, the festival of St. Dujam, the saint patron of Split. That is the time to show the range of voices, taste the wine and the local dishes, play tombola and cards, a little from everything, not to be forgotten.
Sure.
legend always imagines Split as a singing town, bathed in tunes and absorbed in a song. Through memories and the imagination of Split's narrow streets, the longings of old serenades are still echoing, and the remaining wine cellars are still harboring the sounds of harmonious singing of disappeared a cappella singers. People used to love each other, quarrel and even die with song, because in that way they served best to their Mediterranean soul. Split had been and has remained to be humanistic center, the town of writers, painters, musicians and theater artists. Split Summer Festival has been going on for more than 4 decades. On pagan and Christian peristyle, it unites sounds of fanfare from Verdi's Aida and the words of the prominent Croatian writers. Everything is possible in Mediterranean fairy tale evenings when magic of the outdoor stages embrace with a reflective narration. Boundaries of unreal are being moved forward. The theater is coming under the skin. We feel it as a part of the town and our own inner being. With our southern temperament, we love uninhibited theater on the street and the directed scenes on stages. We are proud of the 100-year-old theater building where, for generations, minds have been sharpened appraising new dramas, ballets and operas. It is known that the Split theater audience is demanding, as it has been used to numerous high-quality performances. Everything what authentically belongs to Split has a certain musical feeling, and whoever brings a song to Split comes as a friend, as a family, and becomes the Split citizen. We built ourselves in your stones, in the ancient uncovered sea froth, in the heaviness of your pillars, in the loud shapes of characters, the promoters of your glory. The sun didn't lose any of its strength since the tired emperor was moved for the first time by the vision of silence and beauty covering itself with your shadows. You grew out of an illusion.